Malcolm X once said the white liberal is the worst enemy to America and the worst enemy to the black man. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you an example of the very white liberal he was talking about.
Yo, relax and take notes.
This has got to be the dumbest tweet I've read since Keith Olbermann said this dumb shit. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2A is not rooted in racism. It's gun control. Understand, it's not just about these tyrannical laws and regulations themselves. It's also about who those laws and regulations are enforced on. And history has shown us time and time again, when it comes to the enforcement of gun control, African Americans have often been disproportionately impacted. For example, during the Jim Crow era, many southern states passed laws prohibiting the ownership and carrying of firearms by black people. See, these laws were meant to promote public safety, but in reality, they were designed to disarm African Americans and prevent them from defending themselves against racial violence. Even after the so-called Civil Rights Act of 1964, which was supposed to abolish many of these discriminatory laws, there's been numerous instances where black people have been unfairly targeted by gun control measures. Stop and frisk anybody? Another factor that contributes to the disproportionate impact of gun control in African American communities is the prevalence of poverty and crime in said African American communities. Because of socioeconomic problems, right? Many black Americans are forced to live in neighborhoods that are plagued by violence and crime. As a result, rightfully so, they may feel the need to strap up to protect them and their families. But unfortunately, when gun control laws are enacted, they often make it more difficult for law-abiding citizens in these neighborhoods to attain firearms legally. So how can you sit here and say that the 2A is racist and rooted in racism when it was the 2A that allowed black men to go vote when the KKK was trying to run them out of town? See, what you don't know is, while the black man was in there voting in the voting booths, their wives were sitting outside of the voting places with their Winchester shotguns to make sure nobody came and interfered. There's also saying the house with the gun don't get the cross in the yard. Ida B. Wells also said a Winchester shotgun should be above the fireplace in every black household. So when you see arguments like the one that this lady's making or what Keith Olbermann's making, understand they're both intellectually lazy and dishonest, because the 2A ain't rooted in racism, it's gun control. And gun control is people control. The funny part is this lady knew that this comment was going to go south because she disabled her comments. So that should tell you a whole lot. Anyway, Canon Hotep, I'll holler at you.
Yo, relax and take notes.